I'm prepping for a night shift at my hospital job as a nurse, and I'm taking you along with me for this vlog as I pull an all-nighter and try to bust some stash. Hello, my name is Emily Crow from The Cozy Crow, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is a little bit different of a vlog for me. I am pulling an all-nighter tonight. Well, we're gonna try. We'll see how it goes. I have not consumed any caffeine because I really am trying hard not to be dependent on it. It's hard with working night shifts, but we're just gonna do the best we can. We'll see how it goes. I work at the hospital at an ICU, and I'm working tomorrow night shift. It is about 10:30 p.m. the night before, and I like to kind of switch my body clock over to being up most of the night before. So last time I did this, I stayed up till 4 a.m. I could have stayed up a little later. Problem is, my daughter has preschool graduation in the morning, and if I go to bed at 4 a.m., I'm gonna have a really hard time waking up at 7:30 in order to go to preschool graduation. So I think I'm gonna try to stay up all night, and in order to do that, I need to keep busy. So I'm going to be doing a lot of knitting. This year, I have a goal to attack my stash and basically be more intentional with the yarn I purchase, the yarn I'm using, and hopefully stash down the amount of yarn I have so that it can better serve my purposes, better fit the space that I have here in my office craft room space, things like that. Last month, I finally classified all of my yarn and I kept track of how much yarn I had in my stash. In that video, I had 714 skeins of yarn total. I have since purchased some yarn because of the Great Basin Fiber Arts Fair. So I ended April with 726 skeins total. We are now in May and I've used up exactly 0 skeins of yarn this month, which is a little bit of a problem. It's been hard. We are still struggling with sleep a little bit. My son is. He is 5 months old, and thankfully things are looking up a little bit, but it's just been really hard to find time to knit. I've still been able to knit almost every single day, just not the volume that I would hope for. And I've had some time commitments with work, more so this month than last month. We are hoping that we can make at least some progress on stashing down this month, and tonight is hopefully going to be the start of that. We have got about a week left of May. I have a couple priority projects I'm going to be talking to you about. I really want to at least use up 1 skein of yarn tonight. I don't know how possible that is, but let's talk about projects I have in mind that need my attention. So this is my Sea Tangle top. Ooh, you can see that texture pretty good. These cables kind of undulate, which is really cool. This is a test knit that is due kind of mid-June, though the deadline is flexible. This is the back yoke. You can kind of see a little bit of shaping there. I've got a ways to go on this. I am planning on using up 2 full skeins of yarn on this project and then working into my 3rd skein of this yarn. Oh my gosh, I'm yawning too much already. This is too early. This colorway is from Witchfire Fibers, and it is the colorway Ascension. Like I said, I've got a long way to go. I don't think I'm going to use up my skeins of yarn. So I do need to make progress on this, and I would love to finish the back yoke. I need to knit a certain amount of inches. I'm getting pretty close. I've got less than 2 inches left on this. So this would be really good to put in some time on to start the armhole shaping. I need to make progress on this, but that's not going to use up any stash yarn. I also need to make some progress on this Dino Doodle, Baking Doodle combo cowl for a book box that I've been working on for forever. And I'm finally putting in the time to work on this. It's been a minute since I've picked this up. I just haven't had enough time to make time to knit on this, but I want to at least put in a little bit of time tonight to make some progress. When I finish this project, it's going to use up a ton of stash yarn, which I'm really excited about, but I don't have a hope of finishing this. If this was my focus project for the next week, I don't think I would finish it because I have a 5-year-old and a 5-month-old. I also might put in some time on these vanilla socks because these I definitely can finish by the end of the month, though not tonight, of course. But these are my Freckled Onesie 2025 Advent socks. This is the 2nd sock. I have 4 more stripes before the heel, so that would actually be really good to establish the heel on this, and that would make it just that much easier to finish this skein off before the end of May. This project is the one that I think I might actually finish a skein on, which would be really nice to contribute to downsizing my yarn stash. Oh no, I lost my hook. This is the Warm Welcome Baby Blanket. I am on color number 4. I need to do 15 rows of this like mint green color. The lighting is poor. It is nighttime. So sorry, but that's just the nature of this vlog. I have only this much left of this bare yarn I'm holding with the Surrey, so I can definitely work through this really quickly. And then even just the Surrey, I've got only like 9-ish rows left to do before I finish that skein off and can move to the next color. That would be really nice to finish also. That doesn't seem too far out of the realm of possibility. Now where is my hook? Where did my hook go? Unless I can't find my hook, where's my hook? That was scary. I'm like, I don't even know which hook size I have. An H, a 5mm. So if that happens again, at least I know now what size hook I have. Oh my goodness. Oh, I need like a yawn counter in this vlog. Oh my goodness. Maybe I should have had like a Coke or something. Give me a little caffeine and sugar to boost me for the night. So those are all the whips I have that might get a little bit of attention tonight. A few that I think need a little bit of time just to like make some good progress on them. And then one I really want to focus on to try and use up some yarn stash, because that is the goal tonight. Other like stash busting ideas, because I'm only counting stash that is not a scrap. So full or almost full skeins of yarn. Socks are great for me because it uses just the right amount of the skein to then put that yarn into my scrap pile. Small, portable, but it is fingering weight yarn usually, so if I use DK weight yarn, socks work up really fast. Making like a hat with a thicker yarn, great idea. Garments with bulkier yarn, also fast, and I can work through a lot of things. I just don't have a lot of projects on my needles and hooks right now that are really fast projects, like really big stash busters. So we'll see what progress we make. Any progress is progress. And I understand I won't be able to like totally downsize my stash in just this year, but I want to build better habits for intentional purchasing and for making things as that yarn comes into my stash so that I can have a more current and workable stash that inspires me right here and right now. So that's kind of my thought process about that. My guess is we're going to use up, I'm going to be helpful, 2 skeins of yarn. Because I have a couple other projects I want to spend some attention on, I think that's kind of the limit. But we'll have to wait and see. I am currently listening to Dungeon Crawler Carl. I'm on book 2. I know book 8 just came out, and book 9 is going to be released in 2 parts, but Matt Dinniman has released his books really in quick succession, so I don't think we're going to have to wait too long for that book. So now's a great time to start the series, in my opinion. I'm having a lot of fun. It feels a lot like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's very absurd, still sci-fi, fantasy-ish. It definitely leans more horror, graphic, gory, even like psychological horror in the premise of how it got set up. But it's funny, it's a bit irreverent, it's satirical. I wouldn't say it's like superbly witty, but it's a really fun time, and it's really an engaging story that I have really, really enjoyed listening to. So I'm excited to get into book 2. I just barely started it this evening, so we're going to be listening to that. I have a new podcast from Nitty Natty that I'm going to be listening to as well. So we've got some other things going on to kind of supplement our knitting. Let me know what you like to do when you knit or crochet. Do you like to watch YouTube? Do you like to listen to audiobooks? Do you like to sit in silence, peace and quiet? Are you a chat with someone else kind of person? Let us know what you like to do when you are crafting. Without further ado, let's jump into, first, I'm going to try to make progress on my test knit because that is probably the most important. Time management wise, I really need to honor my commitment to finish this test in time. So I'm going to put in a little bit of time on this. It's about 1:30, a little bit after that, but I've finished doing that back yoke portion I was hoping for. Yay! So definitely longer, significantly longer, and I've started increasing for the armhole shaping. So making progress. this is where I wanted to get to on this, just to, slow and steady, make sure I work on it every single day. So I'm glad that I made that progress. I will probably focus on a different project now. I need to go put in my retainers, brush my teeth. I'm going to check on my baby because he's sleeping. He hasn't woken up yet, which is wild. And we're just used to waking up like every 2 hours. So I'm very grateful that he's sleeping, but I'm going to go take a peek on him and make sure that I am ready. Take care of myself a little bit, take my nighttime medicine, all that good stuff. And then we will pivot. I think I want to work on my crochet blanket because I would love to knock a skein out of my stash. I think we're also going to move somewhere else. I just need a change of scenery too. I'm fading fast. My baby woke up around like 2:30. I ended up nursing him and then snuggling him for a while because he was wide awake. And now I am really struggling to stay awake right now. Oh gosh. I'm a little disappointed because I don't think I can make it all night at this point. I think it's probably just best for me to take a nap and then wake up in the morning and try to give myself enough time in the morning to like fully wake up to go to my daughter's graduation, because that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about having a hard time waking up in the morning, so I'll just make sure to give myself enough time to do that. Oh my goodness. I'm so close to finishing a skein though. Sorry, Alfred, I gotta move you. You can enjoy my lap instead. I know it would be really cool to see everything I could do over the course of like an entire night, but it's about 4 o'clock almost on the dot. I am not going to be awake for too much longer. I think I'll be in bed asleep at 4:30. So I'm going to get like 3 hours of sleep. Not even that, because I should wake up before 7:30. But that's still like, imagine how much making I can get done in 2.5 to 3 hours. But I don't think I don't think I can make it. That's how much I have left of that one skein of the bear yarn. So what I'm going to do is finish this, join in the next skein. So at least I have one skein cross off the list. And then I will put this away, take a little nap, do a couple things in the morning, take another good nap before going on night shift. This will be kind of like a shorter vlog. We'll come back during the daytime and I'll show you the progress of what I worked on these couple of projects. Not as much as I would have hoped, but this is making me think I should do a vlog where I'm actually timing myself, maybe with knitting a pair of socks, and seeing how long it actually takes to use up a skein of yarn from start to finish. I think that could be a really fun vlog. So let me know if that's something that you're interested in seeing. So I'm going to finish off this last little bit and get ready to rest because I cannot stay awake much longer at this point. All right, it's been a few days. I have recovered from staying up as late as I could, working a night shift, just general recovery because it's hard. And I wanted to share with you everything that I worked on, just kind of a little summary recap on how that little overnight shift went for my making. I will say that it feels like it takes longer than you think it will to complete a project. And in general, the time just flies by, right? So I think it's interesting to see how much I was able to get done in the amount of time I had, especially because towards the very end, I was very, very tired after having snuggled and fed my baby, and like it took a while to get him back to sleep. I was also putting myself to sleep. I think if I had had a few more hours, like I was originally planning to stay up a little bit later, like into the morning, to prep for what we had going on that early morning. If I had been a little bit more awake, could have gotten a little bit more done. But it's not about making as much as possible. It's just about learning more about what we're making. And I thought it would be fun to take you along with me and share with you how that process went. I think in the future, I do want to do some timing of projects that I work on. Maybe a pair of socks, kind of see how long it takes me to complete a pair of socks from start to finish. I think that would be really interesting to do for a vlog for this Attack My Stash series, because I have a lot of sock yarn skeins. So let me know down below if that's something you want to see. But let's talk about everything that I worked on that night. It was about a 6-hour stretch of time. So about 10 p.m. until about 4 a.m. And I did get a little bit of editing done as well, and just like a little bit of administrative stuff. So it was closer to like 10:30 when I actually started doing all of this. So like 5.5 to 6 hours worth of time and everything that I did in that time. What I did that wasn't crafting related, I fed and snuggled my baby once. He is finally moving out of that 4-month sleep regression. Instead of waking up like every 2 hours all night long, it was like 6 weeks. Oof. Now he only wakes up usually 2 times a night, which is significantly better. So he woke up once that night, not bad at all. So I spent a chunk of time breastfeeding him and snuggling him and getting him back down for bed. And like I said, putting myself down for bed too on accident. Because before I fed him, I still had plenty of energy. I was like, I'm awake enough. I can keep going. I could not keep going after that. I also was listening to Carl's Doomsday Scenario. I love being able to listen to an audiobook while I knit or crochet. I get to combine my 2 favorite hobbies. I've since finished that book, though during this little excursion, I got to chapter 13, so I got a good way into it. I've finished that book and I've now started on book 3, so I am plowing through that series. I'm having a lot of fun. If you have not read Dungeon Crawler Carl, I'm really enjoying it. The knitting that I did, I had one project. Oh, I should have put in progress keepers. I didn't even think about that. This is where my back panel is now. Let me hold it up so it looks like a back panel. For my C-Tangle top, you can see I've got some shaping right here for the armholes. Ta-da! I got about 1.5 inches done on this during my time. My goal was to get to the increase section, which starts right about here. So yeah, I did about that much work in the time I had. I feel like I finished this maybe around like 1 o'clock, 1:30, something like that. So I was really grateful to be able to put some time in on this. I still have not finished the back panel. I've got like 5 or 6 more rows to go, and then I'm done with this, can put this on hold and can pick up stitches for the left and right front panels. So we're making progress. It's just slow going with the cables and the finger and weight yarn. So that's going to be a focus of mine for the next month until I finish that and have it all done for the test knit. Glad I could make some progress on that, but again, it took longer than I expected, and having to pay attention. Oh my gosh, the chart is so tiny. There's so many stitches in the chart, so it's very tiny to see. So I have my little post-it note to mark my row, and it's working out okay, but it's just a little bit on the tedious side. And then the only other project I was able to make some significant progress on was my Warm Welcome baby blanket. Ta-da! I only got through about 1.5 rows, so I didn't do a ton of work. I would have loved to finish this color section, and that might be something that I work on soon when I get a chance, and maybe my brain cannot handle doing cables of this test knit. But I was able to finish off one of those skeins of Bear Stroll, which is really good because that was kind of like a lingering skein from another project. It just felt good to cross off the list. So all in all, in about, I would say probably 4-ish to 4.5 hours total of making, if I take out all the extra things that I did over that night, I was able to get done a little bit of this. I crossed 1 skein of yarn off the list, and I was able to make progress on the test knit that I really had to prioritize. All in all, I'm really happy with what I was able to accomplish and seeing some significant progress because I was able to sit down and spend some good time. A lot of my making has been very much in little tiny chunks of time, just squeezing it in where I can with 2 kids in tow. And so having some dedicated few hours to work on projects and spend some time with myself was so nice. So I recommend you definitely make the time for yourself if you are having a hard time getting a good chunk of time with your making, with your reading, any of that. It's totally worth it and made me feel rejuvenated, like I was able to fill that part of myself by investing some time in doing those things that I really enjoy. So definitely recommend. If you like seeing vlogs like this, let me know down below. This was kind of like a mini vlog since I only had so much time, and I thought it would be fun to take you along with me for staying up for night shift and sharing what it's really like when I do have to switch over my schedule. I feel like that night was pretty typical, even though right now my life's a little bit different than it used to be. I feel like that was a pretty good representation of how I spend my nights before my night shifts, prepping to kind of switch my circadian clock over so I can stay awake a little bit more during the night when I work. Let me know if there's any other kinds of vlogs in this Attack My Stash series that you want to see from me. Especially, I'm really thinking about timing how long it takes to knit a pair of socks. I think that would be really fun to share. And I have a lot of stash I could pull from for that video. But if there's anything else you want to see, let me know down below. Thank you so much for joining me as I sleepily completed some knitting and crochet goals for my night. And if you want to see more from me, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification down below to be notified every time I post a new video, because I post pretty frequently, but not on a consistent schedule at all. I'm taking life day by day with 2 little kids in tow, being newly postpartum, and everything that that entails. So I really am grateful that you are here and wanting to join my community. I love to hear from you down below. So if you have made any of these projects or have any recommendations for me, I would love to hear. If you have any recommendations for someone who is enjoying Dungeon Crawler Carl, I would also love to hear that, because I am blasting through the series, so I'm going to need some new reads soon too. And until next time, happy making. Bye! Okay, I don't know if that was a cute yawn or not. We'll see.